Hello and what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. And today we're checking out two knives, brand new knives from NedFoss. We feature a few of their knives here in the channel in the past, and they just sent in these new models for me to check out. I believe these are called the ELF. We have two versions to look at. We have a D2 version and we have I think a 14C28N version as well. So go ahead and start with the D2 version here, shall we? I also believe they are two separate locking mechanisms, and these are also very, very affordable. So links for these knives and every other knives will be in the description and pinned comments. It does help out the channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you and at zero extra cost. All right, we got the zipper pouch with the sort of carbon fiber looking finish. Got the lion branding there, NedFoss, right? Very nice packaging experience. We have a nice tool. They always include a tool with all their packaging, which is pretty sweet. We have a T8 and a T6 here. You'll probably already have your own tools and whatnot, but it's always nice to have some additional tools there. We have a wiping cloth that has the NedFoss branding there. There is the knife. We'll take a look at that in just a second. And then we have the instructions, warranty, and all that good stuff. Yeah, English on this side. There we go. If you guys want to pause the video, you're more than welcome to. But let's go ahead and take a look right at what we have with this new model. I think the model here, the name again, is called the ELF. So what the ELF is going on here, let's find out. We have a flipper deployment with the stainless steel bolsters here, right? Nice gray finish to them, thus looking good. And then we have what feels like G10 inserts here on the handle. That's pretty cool. We have steel liners exposed. We have a G10 backspacer as well. Kind of has a long profile. I know this is probably going to be one of those large knives that you guys have been asking for. I usually get some comments from people like, hey Miguel, I like the big knives. Where the big knives at? Well, I got you. They're right here. So let's go ahead and take a look. It's called the ELF, but I think it's actually a pretty decent like size knife. We have a deep pocket carry clip here, right? That's looking pretty good. And is it reversible? Absolutely, right? NedFoss is getting it together here. They have been stepping up their game. I'm going to tell you that right now. They have been improving on their designs. You're getting deep pocket carry clips, which are reversible. That's pretty good to see. Pretty happy to see that. There's even some jimping going on, or at least a wave pattern going on here for additional grip towards the back of the handle. I can actually feel that. That's pretty functional there. And yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing deployed. Flipper tab on this one. It looks like we have an opening hole. We'll try that in a second, but mostly probably flipper deployment. But there it is. There is the blade. We have a drop point blade on this one. This is the D2 steel version. We have a gray coat on it, which is good since D2 is not the most corrosion resistant steel, right? That definitely helps. It is certainly a very tough steel that does retain a pretty good edge for the price here. This one is a liner lock. So let's go ahead and get a closer look here at the liner. Right, that's about maybe 50% of the way in. We do have some jimping or a milling design with good access to the liner from the show side. And let me see, yeah, getting in here and disengaging the liner is actually pretty decent. You can actually see the D10 bowl right there also. So it's a drop shutting. Well, it's a little bit of a shake shutter. Okay, there's your deployment. Right, let's test that. Flipper tab, light switching it definitely works. Push buttoning it also works. All right, can I fail it if I don't give it any effort? Yeah, absolutely. So definitely going to want to be intentional with it so you can get it to deploy satisfactory. All right, there you go. So let's check out the blade, right? Again, we have a flat grind on this D2 blade here. All right, nice, beautiful switch there towards the front, flat grind, very pokey tip, right? The hole there also has a nice fuller. Check that out. That's pretty interesting. We got the lion logo here, and then we have the D2 steel ELF on the other side. So, and then overall, I mean, we got some reach here with this knife for sure. We're going to be doing some size comparisons here in just a moment. But yeah, so far so good. This is the flipper version of this D2 steel. It is on ball bearings, right? This is your stop pin. So the blade is going to stop there and also lock here with the liner. And that feels pretty solid right there. No side to side, no up and down movement of any kind. That's pretty solid. And again, a nice drop shot alignment, smack in the middle. That's looking pretty good. So far making a pretty great first impression, right? Good ergos. Let's see here. Average size hand. Again, not the biggest of hands or smallest of hands. I'm able to get a full 4-finger grip. That flipper works as your finger guard on this one. And I still got plenty of handle, so if I had big old bear paws, I would be okay. Pocket clip is surprisingly actually very comfortable. I kind of don't like the fact that they actually add branding on the pocket clip, but that's not a deal breaker. It actually is very comfortable. I'll give it a nice 9.5 out of 10. Good jimping on the blade there, right? We'll do our scientific cutting test in just a moment. But let's go ahead and check out the other one. So that is the D2 flipper version. This other one is 14C28N. Let's take a look. And you guys let me know in the comments. I usually get people who are more on the D2 end of things. These are tightly packaged, by the way. I'm struggling to get them out. I usually get people who like D2 more than 14C. I usually get other people who like 14C more than D2. I lately have been liking 14C a little bit more than D2. So, you know, it's more corrosion resistant and whatnot. You know, same goodies here. We got the warranty stuff, the knife, wiping cloth, and no tool on this one. I'm not sure. I think. That's a little strange. I thought there would have been a nice little tool on this one too. So anyways, let's go ahead and check out the knife here, shall we? Right, plastic wrapping on this one. Here we go. All right, this is right off the bat, I'm seeing some things that are different, right? On the 14C28N, now you do step up a little bit. Aesthetically speaking, it looks very similar to the D2 version, except you actually have a plunge lock, button lock on this version, so that's different, right? Noticing that right off the bat. Same pocket clip, reversible. I'm noticing this one here says NedFoss Pro, so there's the regular NedFoss and then there's NedFoss Pro, so I wonder what that's all about. But yeah, otherwise same pocket clip. This one is a little bit more of a blasted finish, still reversible, and deep pocket carry. Same flipper tab on this one, except you get the button lock. So let's go ahead and test this one out. Bam, there it is. Okay, nice smooth button lock action there. It is again a plunge lock button lock. So this cylinder right here is under spring tension. When the blade opens, it's gonna come out, right? Kind of go into that groove cut out there on the blade. You see that cutout right here? That's where the plunge is gonna go into, and that creates the plunge lock button lock. So let's see, rock solid, no side to side, no movement of any kind. That's not bad at all. Because it is a button lock, we'll go ahead and get the subscribe stick of truth right here. So let's go ahead and test it out. Fingers out of the way. Again, let's go ahead. So far so good. No movement there. A couple more times. If it survives that, I can tell you for sure it's actually going to do pretty good in regular life. Or what I'm not going to do is take like 3 steps back and then, you know, use full force, because come on now, like, what is that really proving? It's not proving anything. So if you want the whack test, there it is, right? That's pretty reasonable, and that's all it takes. I do like the fact that we get plenty of jimping all around on these flippers. Like, again, I told you at the beginning, NedFoss is stepping up their game. They're paying attention to what people are saying about knife reviews and whatnot. We typically say a lot about, you know, jimp-less flippers, and they give it to you here all the way around on both of these. There's the button lock on the 14C28N version, no button on the D2 version, and they're both the ELF model. G10 and all that is pretty much the same. Pocket clip finish is a little bit different. You get the Pro on this one, right? And then as far as the liners, right, back spacer, what have you, right, all that's pretty much the same. I think as far as the blade goes, let me see. So we have, I'll put them here side by side. There's your D2. Here's your 14C version, right? Same length on both of these, pretty much. Again, same model, just with a very slight variation there. So it really comes down to your preference, right? What steel do you prefer? What locking mechanism do you prefer? Some people have, you know, preference towards a liner lock. Some people enjoy the ease of deployment, manipulation with a button lock. So one thing is for sure, these things are on ball bearing, right? Very well tuned. So let's see if I can deploy it with the hole, right? I'm kind of... Okay, listen, I was not expecting that to work at all, right? I'm like, okay, that's a tiny little hole. There's no way that works. I just failed it, but boom, look at that. As long as you kind of shove your middle finger, and please don't insert any comments on that phrase. Like, just push with your middle finger and do it like you mean it. You should be pretty okay. Can I thumb deploy it? You also can, right? Just put some pressure with your thumb, and as long as you don't have butterfingers, boom, it works. So, again, that's just going a little bit extra because you got the flipper, you got the button on this one, but at least being able to use, especially the fuller, right? The fuller actually works pretty good, right? Take a look. So deploying with the fuller, nice, okay. The non-button lock version, let's give that a try here. Yeah, reverse flick out of the fuller in half of the hole. There we go. And then thumb deployment, there we go, right? So yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, you absolutely can. That is for sure. So that is nice to see. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons here next to some of the typical knives in the channel. There's your MSI from Microtech. It's going to have a little bit more reach. Here's your Stitch from Microtech as well. Both of these are going to be larger than the ELF. The Spidey Bros, Mario and Luigi. Just getting the Manix 2 and the Yojimbo 2. We're actually talking very comparable size here now. I think both. I think the ELF model is definitely maybe a hair bigger than these guys. All right, you all take a look. Let me know. The Demko AD 20.5 is going to be a little bit shorter there. and the smaller brother, the Shark Cub, right? Also going to be a little bit shorter. On the budget end of things, we have the Tenable Fenrir, absolute budget pickup, very comparable size. The ELF is still a hair bigger. And here's the CJRB Pyrite Light, absolutely hands down amazing recommendation in the budget category. All of these are linked down below, by the way, if you want to check any of these out, right? Check prices, availability, variants. They'll help out the channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you and at zero extra cost. There's the Fintiso Parrot, and here's the Vosteed Corgi, right? Take a look. Both of these are going to be just a little bit smaller. And since we're here, might as well get you an accurate length here on this bad boy. We're looking at 8 inches, yeah, 8 inches overall length. In case you're wondering, that blade is 3 1/4, and the cutting path is also 3 1/4 with a handle of 3.75. All right, so those are the measurements. I do have a special bonus one, right? So I said last one, but no, I lied. And I do want to bring these up just to kind of make a point here. So these are the SWAN model from NedFoss as well. You'll find these on Amazon. I did videos on these some time ago. And this was maybe a year ago, a year and a half ago or something. Kind of going back, they definitely like the whole bolster design aesthetics on their knives. I can tell you that because I see some similarities. They love beautiful drop point blades because they have the same thing going on the WSwans. But see, here's what I mean by they have improved, right? So these models did not have any jimping on the flipper tabs, even though they work, but jimping would have been nice. And you can see them paying attention with the new models, right? They now give you plenty of jimping on the flipper tabs. And back then, they weren't doing, they were doing deep pocket carry clips, right? But they weren't reversible. So nowadays, they actually give you the hardware and they make it so you can reverse the pocket clip. And guess what? They're doing the T8 hardware. They're doing the bigger hardware. Back then, I see some T6, right, in the inserts, but I see T8s, mostly T6. I think they were doing. Let me just double check here. I think maybe except the pivot, yeah, T6 body screws on the bolster. Yeah, so they were doing T6 mostly, aside from the pivot back in the day, and now they're giving you T8 on their knives. So definitely, again, a company who's paying attention, right? They're coming up with some new designs, you know, improving on certain things. They know and understand. They've been taking note of what people do want and appreciate and look forward to on a knife. By the way, check these out. These are an absolute bargain. The WSwan, right? Some of you guys who like the bigger knives, right? If you like the whole locked in position, you have a little curvature here for your index, middle finger, right? These are pretty large. So for the people that want the larger knives, right? Miguel, where the large knives at? Listen, check out the WSwan. These are an oldie but goodie, right? And yeah, definitely a timeless design. But just wanted to showcase them to make a point, especially now, you know, we got even button locks and whatnot. That is absolutely amazing. Almost forgot for a second, last year they actually dropped this banger right here, the NedFoss Cougar. And this was, I believe, their first button lock, at least that I know of. And this thing has been, I think I actually featured it in my top whatever 30-something knives under $100 for 2024 list. Check out that video if you haven't already. But I mean, this one, again, another banger from NedFoss. They did something a little bit different here with a different pivot logo. Full stainless steel scales on here, beautiful geometry on the blade. I think they had clip point, drop point, and Warncliffe. I think this is their version of their Warncliffe. So the NedFoss Cougar is also a pretty sweet one in their lineup. Check it out. I have a video on the channel if you haven't seen it yet. But let's go ahead and get scientific with it, right? Let's go ahead and start with the, what are we doing? D2 first. Let's try that. So D2 steel. Let's go ahead and get you the 2X zoom in. All right, definitely very slicey D2 blade there with that factory edge. Let's get some full slices. Bam, boom. Yeah, these are going to cut, no doubt. Let's switch over to the 14C 28N version. See how this guy does. Oh, absolutely. Also laser sharp with that factory edge. Bam, boom. Trying to see if I can notice a difference between one model and the other, but they're both actually cutting pretty good. So obviously both of them are going to cut paper. That's not a surprise there. So let's test it here with some Amazon cardboard box. I have a single wall piece of cardboard here. Again, going back to the D2 version first. I got my hammer grip, putting my thumb on the jimping on the blade there. Remember, when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular, but at an angle. And here we go. Bam, flat grind, putting in the work. Again, you also have plenty of reach with a longer blade. Boom. Yeah, that D2 is absolutely going to perform. No doubt about that. Here's the 14C 28N version. All right, same deal. Oh, yeah. Just as sharp, performing just as well. I did taper off this one just a little bit there towards the end, but still got the full cut pretty much. I mean, yeah, I mean, in answering the question, are these sharp enough to use as a sharp cutting tool? The answer is absolutely yes. Yeah, both of them have a pretty good factory edge, both of them cutting pretty good here, as you saw. You guys rate these in the comments, right? On a scale from 1 through 10, how sharp are they? Rate that factory edge, 10 being the sharpest. Y'all let me know. Well, there you have it, guys. That is the ELF from NedFoss, a new model on their lineup, which again, I'm really impressed with, to say the least. I think when I first saw it, the only thing I thought was a little bit interesting, I guess. Let me just double check something. I noticed that the blade itself, I thought it would be maybe like a 1/10 of an inch, a little bit taller. That's just me. Kind of looks like the handle is a little bit thicker than the blade, more or less. But then now that I'm seeing it in person, you know, I kind of get over that pretty quickly. So I was just looking at the pictures when they first sent me, you know, the pictures to check it out before sending these in. And I was like, you know, kind of feels like the blades should have been maybe a hair taller or whatnot. But now that I'm seeing them in person, actually, you know, it's a pretty interesting design that kind of grows on you. So obviously you guys know by now I'm going to carry these for some time. I'm going to gather as much feedback as I possibly can. Then I will be dropping a comprehensive review video later on. So do subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Would love to hear your thoughts on these new models, right? Do you like them? Do you love them? Do you maybe dislike them, right? What questions, concerns, feedback, constructive criticism, all of the above do you have? Let's hang out in the comment section down there. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on these. Huge shout out to NedFoss for sending these in for me to check out and share with you guys. And shout out to my Patreon supporters and channel members for supporting what I do here. You guys are the best. You can support the channel on Patreon or here on YouTube by becoming a channel member. You will get access to exclusive perks. Go ahead and check out those videos on your screen right there. I'll put the SWAN video on the left, the NedFoss Cougar video on the right. Hope you guys enjoy those. And again, check these out. All these knives are linked down below in the description and pinned comments. If you made it to this point in the video, you are the best. Thank you for your love and support. Take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Either this one or this one. Peace.